The low-energy Detroit Lions are once again looking to punt on their star cornerback, Darius Big Play Slay. Should the Vikings be in? Question mark. As what happens with every free agent and every trade possibility and every draft pick at this time of year? Well, yes and no. Or do the Minnesotan thing where it's like, yeah, no, or no, yeah. Yeah, one of those things. So, some background. Big Play Slay. So, besides, being the thorn in our side twice a year for multiple years. Darius Slay, 29 years old, heading to his 8th season in the NFL. Came in as a second-round pick in 2013 out of Mississippi State. Ran a 4.36 40 back in the day. Pretty legit. Played his entire career in Detroit, RIP. 3-time Pro Bowler, as well as each of the last 3 years. Nailed it. As well as a first-team All-Pro in 2017, along with... Where's my notes? Xavier Rhodes. Yeah, Xavier Rhodes. Good memories. Good times. All the way back then. Has 19 career interceptions, as well as 66 career passes broken up, plus a career 83.4 quarterback rating. Now, you may be thinking, is that good? Is that bad? I don't really know. But for comparison, Xavier's quarterback rating when thrown at last year was 131.1. There you go. Slay has consistently been in the high 70s, low 80s in terms of PFF grades for his career. Had a bit of a rough 2019, including 2 bad showings against the Vikings. Although over the last 5 years collectively, PFF did name him the 5th most valuable cornerback since 2014. But again, yes, it's a what have you done for me lately league as opposed to baseball. It's like, hey, this guy was good for the last 5 years. 100 million. Yeah. Now, the question is, was Slay falling? Is he falling off? Is he starting to hit the wrong side of 30 eventually? Or was he the victim of the 2019 mess that was the Detroit Lions, who was actively trying to trade him, and he was actively unhappy with his contract? Could be a little both, because like I mentioned, the Lions tried to shop him at the deadline, although they just were demanding too much. I believe the rumors were a first and a third, but also that value is going to go way, way down because A, he's got 1 year left on his contract, and B, also B, he does want a new contract. He's in the final year of his 4-year, $48.15 million extension that he signed back in 2016. So he's going to cost some money. He's going to cost some capital, likely some draft capital. So the question is, should the Vikings be in? So let's look at this realistically. Number one, intra-division deals are really tricky, and the Vikings will have to likely significantly outbid everyone else. Where, say the bids from the Vikings and Team X are relatively even, Detroit is like, we're going to take Team X's deal as opposed to the Vikings. So generally, when you have deals done in division, compensation has to be way over what the rest of the market is trying to give, right? So, and also teams are in on Slay. Teams like Denver, San Francisco were reportedly in on Slay last year, as well as the other spat of teams that didn't get reported. They'll be in as well in all likelihood. Number two, the price will have dropped. Like I mentioned, he has 1 year left on his deal. Doesn't have the final 8 games plus playoffs as he would have if he was traded at the trade deadline. So the question is, even though they're demanding a first and a third, will that value have dropped down to, say, a second? Because I don't think right now he'd be worth a first-round pick, even though the Vikings are drafting towards the later end of the first round. I just don't really see that at this point. Although, if we get into talking about second-round pick territory, now maybe you got Stu going. Or, I'm just trying to think, do the Vikings have anything that is significant in terms of tradable assets? You want Xavier Rhodes? Probably not. Number 3 factor. So money. And are the Vikings a little bit gun shy at this point about spending big contract money, throwing it at a 29-year-old cornerback, especially what has happened recently with Xavier Rhodes? I don't know. I mean, Darius Slay, bottom line, he does have a longer track record of Rhodes. He's been a dominant, phenomenal cornerback in this league for a number of years. He is a legit assassin still at CB1. There you go. Nailed it. And would by far be the Vikings' best cornerback day one as soon as he steps onto campus here at TCO Performance Bar and Grill. Now, question is, giving up a second rounder in division and then also paying him $11-12 million a year, is that necessarily worth it? If it happened, I would be in. I would be pretty psyched about it. But also, if they passed, I'd be cool with that too. This is kind of a spot where I could see value on both sides of the argument. Number one, you're giving a second-round pick to a division rival, and you're shelling out 8 figures plus per year for a guy who's going to be 30 next January. Fully understand that. But also, outside of Jeff Okudah from Iowa State dropping in the draft, he'd probably have to kill 2 guys, not just one guy. I mean, one death may drop him into the teens. It might take 2 to get him to drop 25. Barring that happening, Darius Slay would easily be the best Vikings' best cornerback option week 1, and realistically bringing them in. So, again, like I said, if it happens, I'd be pretty damn pumped for it. If it didn't, I would fully understand. Use that cap elsewhere. Use that second-round pick on a rookie cornerback, on a rookie deal, and just go from there. But, I mean, if the Vikings are all in on 2020, punt on Xavier Rhodes, that frees up $8 million. You can afford to spend a little bit more on Darius Slay, and then if you're fine giving up that second-round pick, if they would go for a second-round pick even. So if they want more than that, it's a non-starter. But torn. I'm torn. Here's the great thing about the offseason. There's so many things that are like pounding on the table for, but also options like this where it's like, if it happens, huzzah. If it doesn't happen, huzzah. That's our deal. But your thoughts, trading for Darius Big Play Slay, let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for Daily Vikings Takes. If you want to support the work, pull us on the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But the next time, Skull Production.